Hello all. The second part of the resistors is the grouping of resistors. Grouping means if we have more than one resistor, so we can group these three resistors, let's say, into just one resistor that's equivalent to them. Equivalent means equal. So one resistor that's equal to three resistors. This is called grouping of resistors. The grouped or the total resistor, it's called the equivalent resistance. The equivalent resistance is the resistance that's equal to many resistances. Okay, let's take here the example of three resistors that are connected in series. Three resistors connected in series. So to calculate the equivalent resistance of these three resistors, we just add the resistances of these three resistances. So R equivalent equals to R1 plus R2 plus R3. While when the resistors are connected in parallel, the equation will be different. It will be the reciprocals. So 1 over R equivalent equals to 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2 plus 1 over R3 plus 1 over R4. يعني حسب قديش في عنا resistances نجمعهم ب 1 over. If we have two resistors, so we say 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2, just like this. Now, let's try an example to calculate the equivalent resistance of these simple electric circuits. Now, let's assume that the resistances R1 equals to 1 ohms, R2 equals 2 ohms, R3 equals 3 ohms, just for simplicity. So now to calculate the equivalent resistance here, we just add the resistances. So we say that R equivalent, REQ, is equal to R1 plus R2, plus R3, which is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals to 6 ohms. Okay? Okay, 6 ohms. Now, this is simple. Okay, now, in the second circuit, these three resistors are connected in parallel. So we say that 1 over R equivalent, 1 over R equivalent is equal to 1 over R1, okay, plus 1 over R2, okay, sorry, yes, plus 1 over R3. Now, to substitute these resistances, we just substitute 1 over R equivalent equals to 1 over 1 plus 1 over 2, sorry, plus 1 over 2 plus 1 over 3. Using the calculator, we say 1 over 1, which is 1, okay, 1, plus 1, we open the bracket, 1 over 2, close the bracket, plus, we open the bracket, 1 over divided by 3, close the bracket, equals, okay? So we have this ratio, this decimal 1.833, okay? So it's equal to 1.833, okay? The answer is not finished. We need to calculate the equivalent resistance R equivalent and not 1 over R equivalent. What do we make here? In mathematics, we can either make cross multiplication or take the reciprocal of 1 over R equivalent and take the reciprocal of this number. So we say 1 over X means we take the reciprocal of this number. We'll get 0.546. So R equivalent equals 0.546 ohms. This is the equivalent resistance of these three resistors. Okay, mostly the equivalent resistance, the number is simpler than 0.568, but it's okay. Now, in the third application, we have a problem here. The resistors are neither in series or in parallel, the three resistors. So what can we do? We can at first work with the two resistors. These two resistors, R1 and R2, we can calculate their equivalent resistance. These two resistors are connected in series. It's clear that they are connected in series. Now, if we draw another circuit, but instead of R1 and R2, we substitute an equivalent resistance called R12. This equivalent resistance R12 is parallel to this third resistor. So we can just try it. Okay, so the first resistance is called R12. This is equal to R1 plus R2, which is equal to 1, let's say 1 plus 2, 1 plus 2, which is equal to 3 ohms. Okay? Yes. So now this equivalent resistance is in parallel with the third resistor. So we say that 1 over R equivalent is equal to 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2. We'll just change the notations. 1 over R equivalent is equal to 1 over R12 plus 1 over R3. It's equal to 1 over 3, which is the equivalent resistance of 1, 2, plus 1 over R3 is also given, let's say 3. We can simply calculate it mentally. It is 2 over 3. Okay. Now we calculated 1 over R equivalent and not R equivalent itself. So we need, as we said before, to make the reciprocal of this number. So R equivalent is equal to the reciprocal of 2 over 3 is 3 over 2, which is simply 1.5 ohms. This is finished. Okay, now the last application. The last application that we have two series. Okay, sorry. We have two parallel resistors together. We calculate the equivalent resistance of 1 and 2, and then this equivalent resistance will be calculated with R3. Let's try this. So at first, 1 over R12, let's call the equivalent resistance of 1, 2, let's call R12, is 1 over R2 plus 1 over R3, which is equal to 1 over 1 plus 1 over 2. Using the calculator, it is 1 plus half, which is 1.5. Yes, it's 3 over 2. We'll also make the reciprocal of R12. So R12 equals to 2 over 3, which is 0.66, or let's make rounding 0.67 ohms. Yes. Now, this equivalent resistance will be in series with R3. So, R equivalent is equal to R12 plus R3, since they are connected in series. So 0.67 plus 3, let's say, is equal to 3.67 ohms. And in this way, we calculated the equivalent resistance in each case. Okay, just I want to make a little remark. Whenever we write the rule let's say for the series R1 plus R2 plus R3, you should write next to it series connection or connected in series. Similarly, in the parallel connection, we just say parallel connections. Okay, and that's it. Thank you so much. Thanks for listening, and bye bye.